All right, welcome to another one from the Outdoor Analyst. Today I have a super fun one for you. We're going to be talking about production knife brands and some of my favorite ones. But before we dive in, hey, if you wouldn't mind taking a second, hitting that subscribe button if you do like knife and outdoor content, I would really appreciate that. And then let me know some of your favorite brands below, just because, hey, the more the merrier, especially if somebody's new to the knife world, the more they can be just opened up to, the better. So I want to talk about some of my favorites. And I'm going to start off with, we're going to start off with a very, very, very cool company, and that is going to be Work Tough Gear. I think these guys don't get enough, I don't want to say respect, but yeah, maybe respect in the knife world for how good they are. This is the Forester Gen 3. This dropped not long ago, I think last month, and there's been a couple of runs from them. But I have found this year that Work Tough Gear has the probably best fit and finish and some of the absolute best convex edges in the market, just in a nutshell. But especially for production knives, technically you're basically getting like a semi-custom for the cost of a production knife. And they use a lot of K329 steel, which is incredibly tough, good edge retention. I really like it. The ergonomics on this knife are just next level. I think this was designed by Alex from Aurora Borealis, and man, he just absolutely nailed this. I want to get a couple other knives from him, but that'll be down the future. So number one, this brand is out of Taiwan. Vic is a great guy. He runs a company of about 6 people that are making knives for him, and they always give you one of the best Kydex sheets possible, one of the best fit and finishes of these. They're completely silent and just excellent fit and finish. Absolutely excellent. Probably just about the best on the market there. All right, next one I want to talk about that I love is going to be a knife brand that I've actually had a love-hate with. Started off kind of rough, but this is going to be White River Knives. Now, I've had a lot of White River knives now, and I love them. They really are phenomenal. They come with Kydex sheaths generally. They're pretty stiff, but they're very good. Still have good thumb ramps. Gotta love them. This is the Ursus 45, and it is one of the probably one of the best just camp knives that's out there. Yet again, kind of unrated. They have these in multiple steels. This is S35N, one of the originals. They do it in Magna Cut, and every now and then they'll do like especially runs of CPM 3V, but you get incredibly thin V edges from from White River Knives. That's what they are known for. I think they have one of the best production thin V edges out there. They actually feel kind of similar to a convex because they are so thin. Now, I've had issues with that in the past, but you know, they do a very good job, and they are pretty excellent on their heat treats for most things. Now, they do have their scales are generally proud all the way around. That's how most of the knife brand works. There's a couple other brands that do that as well. Actually, on this list, there's going to be a couple that do that. These guys do it pretty well. They're not the best at it. I'll show you the best that's out there. But as far as general fit and finish go, incredible thin slicey edges, White River probably tops it for production knives that are out there. Just gonna be honest, for V edges, probably the best. For convex edges, I'm gonna say Work Tough Gear probably actually wins that route. Now, here's a knife brand I would be amiss to say to not put on this list. It's Esee. Esee is basically a big design company, and they have other companies produce their knives. This one is the belt knife, and it's actually produced by White River Knives, which is pretty cool. You're going to see a weird theme going on here as to how big this company is. But the belt knife is incredible. Great design from Esee. It's my new favorite Esee. The RB3 was my favorite before then. But this thing just is so ergonomic. It has just zipped up so many squirrels for me. And it's in CPM Magna Cut, which I love. It's a great all-around stainless steel. It's just phenomenal. But yet again, they're using White River, and the fit and finish is excellent. Excellent all around. Esee makes amazing knives. Kind of known for their survival knives, but honestly, I think some of their best work is their little bushcraft knife, the Esee RB3, and then the belt knife. This thing is phenomenal for hunting, especially for little game. It just absolutely awesome. All right, next company you should know about that's out there, They're going to be kind of on the higher end, but they are excellent. It's going to be Reiff knives. This is the Reiff Circadian. It is also in CPM MagnaCut. Reiff they're kind of a smaller production company, but they're still technically production. They have incredible ergonomics and incredible designs, also very good sheaths. But I love this thing. This thing is just so perfect for a hunting knife for me. It just tops it. And it's also great for EDC, which I really, really love. Now they come with a good edge. It's not as thin as White River's, just in a nutshell, but they do a fantastic job. I probably wouldn't change it. It's more of a utility edge, and it works really well for, I think it's going to be great for field dressing and nick and bone. It'll be slightly tougher just because it's a little bit thicker on the edge there. And I don't think in this case that's a bad thing, but they are immaculate. Great fit and finish. Not cheap, but they do a excellent job. All right, who else are we going to put on here? Let's throw out a little... Let's throw out one that everybody should know about already. It's going to be Mora. These guys are mass production. This is the Garberg, and I've used this knife as just an absolute beater. You get okay plastic sheaths with Moras. They're okay. They're not great. They're not good. They're okay. They work. They actually cover the knife, but that's about it. What you do get is usually phenomenal thin edges. They're almost all Scandies. Actually, I think everything's a Scandi or a hybrid of a Scandi. They use pretty good steels. This is 14C28N, so it's a very tough stainless steel on this one. And you get good ergonomics. And generally, they're the best budget knife around. Lots of Moras are around 10 to 20 bucks. This is kind of their upper end one. I think this cost me 50 bucks on Amazon. So keep that in mind. This is a full tang one, but I have never broken one of their non-full tang knives either. They are just good. They are great for bushcrafting. They're great for backpacking. One of my all-time favorite brands is Mora. And I have tons of them just because they're so useful. All right, that's going to be 5. Let's go on to the next 5 here. And let's start off with just a banger. Just an absolute banger. And that's going to be TRC knives. This is the Polheim. I've had a few TRC knives now. They come with excellent Kydex sheaths. They also have the best, and I am going to say this, fit and finish on the market for a production knife company. They do, and they are proud on their spines all the way around. Matter of fact, they're so good at it that you don't even feel the difference. It's just so excellent on their fit and finish. Now, their blade grinds kind of depends on the style. Some are fairly thin, like this one. This is actually just as thin as the White River, I think. And then sometimes I think they more along the lines compared to a similar blade as Reiff. I think in reality, I think they're pretty similar on the blade geometries that you're going to get, as far as how thin they are on the edge. Ergonomics wise, they are good. They are more along the lines of usually utility knives. So they're not super thick in the scales. They're just kind of good all around slicers. That's kind of how I see TRC. But I also know that they are pricey, but you are basically getting the fit and finish and quality of a custom knife when you pick up a TRC. So they are worth the price. They're immaculate. And they just are awesome. I love this one, CPN MagnaCut as well. Just a good all-around knife for me. All right, let's jump into another budget one, and that's going to be Kizer. I actually like Kizer knives. They're generally coming with a halfway decent Kydex sheath, and this is the drop bear, fixed blade drop bear. It's in, I think this is 14C28N. Yep. So another tough stainless, just like the Mora there. Now, these are a little more pricey than your Moras. I think this is running around like 50 bucks. But they have some of the best 3V budget knives that are out there. You can get several of them between like 50 and I think 70 bucks usually, which is pretty nuts. So you can get ultimate steels for low cost and very wise designs. I like their designs a lot. They are usually pretty thin. They're generally meant for smaller hands, but the drop bear, man, they just made this knife for me. They really did. They put jumping in the right place. Just a well-designed, well-produced little beastie. Really do like Kizer knives. Okay, next one is going to be Exodus Knife and Tool. Now, this is actually very similar to the Esee. This is OEM'd by, guess what? There it is. There's the logo, White River Knives. White River Knives makes the knives for Exodus Knife and Tool. But this is the Jackalope, and this is super cool. This one has like glow-in-the-dark scales. These are, some of them are actually directly from White River, but if you get the ones from Exodus Knife and Tool, they have some souped up scales on them. And sometimes they'll have specialty runs of like really cool steels. Like you can get this in A2 tool steel instead of S35 VN. But it's a very unique knife brand, and they are generally most kind of bang for the buck for size. They are incredible to carry around. I love the adventure craft for them. I love the Jackalope. I take these knives everywhere because they're thin in profile, they're very lightweight, and yet they're still very, very tough. And I'm a huge, huge fan of it. Really cool design style, and honestly, just the fact that this glows in the dark is awesome as well. Super fun. Okay, let's do another kind of high-end production company, and that's going to be Stoner Knives, or Stoner Blades. This is the Stoner MS6, and man, these guys do some cool stuff. These are all in-house, American-made CNC, and I like, look at the CNC lines on that. It's just wicked if I can get this thing to focus on them. There, I mean, that's like what you get on $700 folders, and they just did this on their average fixie. Super, super cool. Now, Stoner is known for doing like handle scales across like the pew industry. And man, when they jumped into the knife industry, they kept ergonomics as king. This is just a big old AEBL stainless field knife, and it is pretty phenomenal. They've got two knife styles out this year, the MS5, the MS6, so a smaller version of this, just really toned down. And I think they've got an EDC knife coming out soon, which is going to be really cool. But man, ergos on this are just phenomenal. Love it. A little thicker on the edge on this one. I think the newer ones are going to have slightly thinner edges, but for the most part, this is just a really ergonomic, awesome field knife. And they've got two killer field knives in production right now. So keep an eye for Stoner. I can't wait till they do their EDC knife. That's coming next. And then I just have to put an old classic, Old Faithful, Fallkniven. If you have not heard of Fallkniven knives, they're pretty much the most inexpensive way to get a full convex edge, whether it's a full height or a Sabervex. This is the A1, and this is an old one. Yes, a lot of their steels are a little behind the times. This is an old VG10 Sanmais, which is still awesome. I think they're kind of moving up as far as steel goes. They're actually putting some nicer steels in their knives now. But the quality control at Fallkniven is incredible. Their convex edges are phenomenal. I think they're a little thicker than some of the custom knives that are out there, but they slice like nobody's business. They split logs very, very good, and they're just beautiful. Absolutely a beautiful brand. Now, their sheaths are generally something that they're a little lacking. They're a version of plastic that works very well in extreme cold temperatures. It doesn't stick. It's meant to be a little bit loose. They have a little bit of rattle to them. Now, this is the old version. There are some newer versions of their sheaths that are a little tighter and lock up, but I've had this knife for forever. Don't plan on getting rid of it because I love it. Fallkniven, their quality control is excellent. And you know you're getting a great knife when you pick up a Fallkniven. So I hope this was fun, just throwing out some cool production brands, besides just, okay, your basic Buck and Kershaw and whatnot. Here's some other ones that are in the fixed blade world, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I don't think you can go wrong really with any of these brands in any way, shape, or form. But if you want some pure excellence, you can get production knives that are nigh near custom quality, like TRCs, Work Tough Gear, White River knives, and then Reiff knives for sure. Those are darn near custom quality when you get into them, which is absolutely phenomenal. So leave some different brands down there below that you love. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and I'm always excited for the comments, just because, especially when it comes to production knives, the world is your oyster, essentially. We live in the golden age of knives. So I just want to throw out 10 brands that I really like right now. Obviously, there's a whole lot more that are excellent too. So thanks for hanging out. I'll check you on the next one.